in this episode, I would like to give you an idea about the speaking test of the IELTS exam. Right. සමහරුන්ට මේ ගැන අවබෝධයක් ඇති සමහරුන්ට අවබෝධයක් නැතුව ඇති. ඒ කියන්නේ සමහරු එක්සෑම් එක කරලා තියෙනවා සමහරු එක්සෑම් එකට දැන් අලුතෙන් පාඩම් කරනවා. ඉතින් මේවා සූදානම් වෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා මම මේක ස්පීකින් එක්සැමිනේෂන් එකේ the entire structure එක ගැන කතා කරනවා අද. හරි. හරි බලන්න ස්පීකින් ටෙස්ට් එකේ what is the duration of the speaking test? 11 to 14 minutes. 11 to 14 minutes duration. Now, in the speaking test, there are three parts. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. So, there are three parts of the speaking test. There are three parts of the speaking test. In the Part 1, what happens? In Part 1, again, speaking test again. There are two sections in the Part 1. Section 1, that means Part 1 can be divided into two sections. Section 1, Section 2. For Section 1, you will get 4 questions. 4 questions. And Section 2, again you will get 4 questions. So it's like this. In the section 1, you will get a topic, kind of general personal topics. Normally in the part 1, we deal with general personal topics. General personal topics. Such as hometown, hobbies, school, family, work, etc. Right? Then api section 1 again we might get a topic like hometown. Let's say hometown, section 1 topic. So you will be asked 4 questions in terms of hometown. So in the section 1, if you get hometown, all 4 questions will be related to hometown. So like that. So then the section 2, you will get a different topic. It may be your school life, or it may be about hobbies, maybe hobbies, something like that. Again, one topic is discussed here. One topic is discussed here, and you will be asked 4 questions. You will be asked 4 questions. Let's say hobbies. Right. දැන් මම අද කතා කරන්නේ මේ ස්පීකින් ටෙස්ට් එකේ ස්ට්‍රක්චර් එක. අපි ඊට පස්සේ වීඩියෝ එකකදී අපි කතා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන කොහොමද ස්පීකින් ටෙස්ට් එකේ part 1, part 2, part 3 actual questions කොහොමද එන්නේ කියන එක. හරි. එතකොට section 1 4 questions. Let's say hometown. So what's your hometown? What are the special features of your hometown? And something like that. Whether your hometown is a good place to live. Those kinds of questions are there. And section 2 hobbies, and again 4 questions are there. So I think part 1 is clear to you. So in the part 1, you are asked general personal topics. And the part 2, what happens in part 2? Part 2, we call it individual speech. Individual speech. And this is also called individual long term. So individual speech, you are given a cue card, and in the cue card there is a topic. You have to read the topic and get ready for a 2-minute speech, and you have to conduct a 2-minute speech in the part 2. So it's an individual speech. Right? It's like this. There's a cue card, and you get a topic in the cue card, and under this topic there will be 4 points. About the topic, you will be given 4 points, and when you speak, you have to develop your speech around these 4 points. Plus, you have to add some additional points because you have to speak for 2 minutes. 4 points may not be sufficient for you. In that case, you need to go for some extra information. Right. Then you are given 1 minute to prepare. 1 minute to prepare for the speech. and then you are supposed to speak for 2 minutes. You are supposed to speak for 2 minutes. 2-minute speech. Okay. So I think this is clear to you. Part 2, individual speech, cue card. There is a topic, and under the topic there will be 4 points and 1 minute to prepare, and you have to speak for 2 minutes. Again, in the part 2 as well, you will get some general and personal topics. Right? That's a very important information for us. Right? In the part 3, what happens in part 3? In the part 3, the part 3 and the part 2, there is a relationship. Part 2 and part 3 is sambandha. Again, in the part 3 again there are 2 sections, section 1 and section 2. In the section 1, like in the part 1, you will get 4 questions, and here also 4 questions. 4 questions, 4 questions. Right. So these questions in the part 3 will be related to the part 2 topic. So understand? So then part 2 the exam when you are facing the part 2 question, which means the cue card, you will get a clear idea about what types of questions will be appearing for the part 2. So part 3 you can have a prediction. What a prediction එක කරගන්න පුළුවන් part 3 එකට මොන වගේ ප්‍රශ්න දෙන්න කියලා. For example, දැන් ඔයාලගේ අහුවොත් මෙතන popular person කෙනෙක් ගැන අහුව කියන්නකො අපි for example. ඒතකොට අනිවාර්යෙන්ම the part 3 questions should be related to popularity, the concept of popularity. කියන්නේ ජනප්‍රිය වීම කියන සංකල්පය මත රඳා පවතිනවා. හරි. එහෙම තමයි බොහෝ විට එන්නේ. ඒතකොට මේ සම්බන්ධයක් මෙතන තියෙනවා. Right. So section 1 එකට එක topic එකක් එනවා. එතන section 2 එකට topic එක තව topic එකක් එනවා. Under this topic you will get 4 questions. Under this topic you will get 4 questions. Right. And කොහොමද examiner පරීක්ෂකයා විභාග පරීක්ෂකයා කොහොමද මේ ප්‍රශ්න ටික අපි අපිට කතා කරන්නේ? Part 1 and part 3 questions are individually asked by the examiner from the candidate. Part 2 එක you are given the cue card, and then you have to get ready for the speech for 1 minute. You are given 1 minute, and then you have to conduct a 2-minute speech. You have to continuously speak here until the examiner stops you. You can examiner who are not kata විනාඩි දෙක. එතකොට සමහරවිට examiner කලින් නතර කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක තත්ත්වයටදී වෙනස් වෙනවා. දැන් මෙතන මම කියවනේ වලට as I have told you that there are 8 questions here and 8 questions here, but the examiner may not ask you all 8 questions and 8 questions here, right? So the examiner may ask you 2 questions from the part section 1 and 2 questions from the section 2, or 3 questions from the section 1, 3 questions from the section 2. And here also in the part 3, the examiner may ask you 4 questions, 3 questions or 2 questions. Here 3 questions or 2 questions. It depends on the examiner. Right. අපි කොහොම වුණත් අපි දැන් examiner අපි ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහනවා, මේ ප්‍රශ්න ඉන්ඩිවිජුවලි අහනවනේ අපි. ඒතර අහද්දී අපි උත්තරේ දෙනවනේ. උත්තරේ දෙද්දී එයා වෙන එකක් හොත් හරස් ප්‍රශ්නයක් හොත් අපි කියමුකෝ probe එකක් අපි කියනවා නේද? Probe why. So when you are giving the answer, examiner may disturb you and ask why. So you have to stop your answer, and then you have to answer the probing question by the examiner. So a ahan person to uttara denna. The examiner has the total authority in the exam, main speaking exam. Okay? Hari. එතකොට දැන් මේ කොහොමද අපි answer කරන්නේ? What is the length of the answer? දැන් මේක හරියම වැදගත් ප්‍රශ්නයක්. දැන් මගේ students ලා ගොඩක් අහනවා අපි answer එක අපේ කොච්චර length එකක් තියෙනවා. කොච්චර to what extent do we have to speak in the IELTS speaking exam, especially in the part 1 and part 3. Part 2 එකේ මේ ප්‍රශ්න අපිට එන්නේ නැහැ. Part 2 එකේ හේතුව අපිට විනාඩි දෙකක් කතා කරන්න ඕනේ. That's very clear. That's pretty clear. But the problem arises in the part 1 and part 3, that how long should we speak. දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මම හදාගෙන තියෙනවා ක්‍රමයක් අපි අතරම අපි ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස් ලාට කියනවා මෙතන section 1 එකේ ප්‍රශ්න හතරක් තියෙනවා for each of these questions you have to speak at least 3-4 sentences. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි කිව්වොත් 4 to 6 sentences for each of these questions. 4 to 6 sentences. Section 1 and section 2. So දැන් ඔයාලා මෙතන section 1 එකේ ප්‍රශ්න හතරක් කිව්වොත් හතර වල අඩුම හතරක් වල දුන්නොත් sentences හතර වලට 16. You have to speak, you have to give 16 sentences. මෙතනත් එහෙම 4 to 6 sentences. Right. At least you have to give 4 sentences. Sometimes if the question is so tricky, ගොඩක් අමාරු නම් අපිට කරුණු නැත්තරම නැත්නම් අපි speaking techniques කතා කරනවා. නමුත් ඔයාලට ඒක if you get stuck මොකද වෙන්නේ? අඩුම දෙක තුනක්වත් වාක්‍ය දෙන්න. At least you have to provide 3 sentences in your response. ඒක හරියම වැදගත් වෙනවා. නැත්නම් අපිට ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ එක්සැමිනර්ට content එකක් නෑ අපි evaluate කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ ස්ටුඩන්ට්ව evaluate කරන්න එක්සැමිනර්ට content එකක් නෑ. අන්තර්ගතයක් නෑ. ඒකෝල ඒක තමයි අපි අන්තර්ගතයක් දෙන්න ඕන එක්සැමිනර්ට. Yes no can do you like chocolate? Yes I do. Do you like chocolate? No I don't. එහෙම බෑ. ඒතකොට ඒ short answers are not acceptable. You have to explain your answer. You have to elaborate your answer. That is the key. Right. How we are going to elaborate, we are going to discuss later. Okay? එතකොට මෙතනදී අපි 4 to 6 sentences මේ හැම ප්‍රශ්නෙම දෙනවා 4 questions. මෙතනත් 4 questions 4 to 6. මෙතනත් එහෙමයි in the same way part 3 get 4 to 6 sentences. 4 to 6 sentences. දැන් ඔයාලගේ ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස් ලගේ fluency level එක වෙනස් වෙනවා, information knowledge එක වෙනස් වෙනවා, general knowledge එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. එතකොට ඔයාලට යන්න පුළුවන් 6 sentences. If you are so fluent, you can go up to 6 sentences. Go up to 6 sentences, even 7 sentences, no problem. But you have to speak and stop. Let the examiner continue the exam. Actually, we should not disturb the examiner. Right? Then මේ IELTS exam එක වැරගන්න තමයි අර හොඳ turn taking එක පවත්වා ගන්න. An examiner asks the question, you answer and stop. And then again, the second examiner asks the second question, you answer and you stop. එහෙම අපිට මේක යන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකෝර තමයි එතකොට හරි සාර්ථකයි. එතකොට මෙතන 4 to 6 sentences, මෙතන 4 to 6 sentences, at least 3 sentences you have to provide. Here 4 to 6 and 4 to 6. ඒ තමයි length එක ගැන අපි කතා කරොත් answer එකේ length එක කොහොමද කියලා කතා කරන්න වෙන්නේ. ඒතකොට මේ වාක්‍ය හතරයි කොහොමද ඔයා ප්‍රොඩියුස් කරන්නේ? ඔයාලා කොහොමද ප්‍රොඩියුස් කරන්නේ? මේ වාක්‍ය හතරෙන් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඔයාලා conjunction එකක් වගේ use කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ 1 or 2 sentences should have a conjunction. ඒ කියන්නේ එකක්වත් complex sentence එකක් දෙන්න ඕන. Because වගේ although, though, even though, because, but, and you should be able to use a conjunction and expand a sentence. So එහෙම වුණාම දැන් අර if you speak simple sentences or short sentences throughout the speaking test, you are not going to get marks for complex sentences. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාලා ඒකේ criteria එකේ තියෙනවා complex sentences are very important. ඔය හැම වෙලෙම complex sentences දෙන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. In some cases you have to use some complex sentence. රබි ඔයාලා conjunctions use කරන්න ඕන. හරි? හරි. මෙන්න මේක තමයි අපේ මූලික structure. This is the basic structure of the IELTS speaking test. So thank you everybody. We'll meet with another video later.